What's going on, guys?
Hello.
Welcome back to our series of Star Wars reviews. Tom and Ali here. We're going to do Revenge of the Sith, Star Wars Episode 3. The best prequel
Yes.
out of the three, just by default. I want to change it up a bit. So let's start with the things that we don't like first.
Okay.
Because I think in the other two we started with things we liked. Because I think there's more to like in Revenge of the Sith than there is to dislike.
Yes.
And
but also, no!
Yeah. I don't want to think about that.
That was a terrible, terrible choice. The silence of him and the music, that would have been a great
even him
tragic
doing
ending.
this, like, even him doing that is fine. It's
the imagery and the soundtrack is enough. You don't need to, we get it.
George Lucas loves the word no.
Yes.
Like, that's one thing I've noticed more and more watching. The more I watch Star Wars, the more I realize how much George Lucas loves that word.
Did you ever see...
Maybe it's because he was so sick of studios telling him what to do, and eventually he got so powerful in the world of movies he could just go, no.
It actually reminds me, did you see like that Rugrats movie where Chucky's first word was no, and he just said no all the time? That's how I imagine.
Every time I think of Rugrats, I kind of get the theme out of my head. Dun, 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 dun. I can play it on piano. Anyway.
Oh, that's so cute.
Yeah, I can. It's cool. So, Revenge of the Sith. Okay. I really like Revenge of the Sith. I like Phantom Menace. Didn't like Attack of the Clones very much. Actually really like Revenge of the Sith.
Yeah.
It is a good Star Wars movie. It's not bad. At least in my opinion, I don't think it's bad at all. I think it's great. I think it does have problems. But for me, the positive is better than the negative, or more than the negative, whatever.
For me, a lot of my problems with Revenge of the Sith aren't really plot-based, and some of them are still that I don't think that Hayden Christensen acts very well in it. But
he acts better than he does
better,
in Attack of the Clones.
He does. But
my problem mainly with Revenge of the Sith is pacing.
Yeah.
It's pacing because it's like, and some people can sort of accept that really quick sudden turn to the dark side that happens in about, like, he goes from no, he must live, it's not the Jedi way, to then killing a bunch of kids in about 10 minutes.
I think you needed more build up to that, and that's the kind of thing, that's what you wanted to see in the prequels. You wanted to see that dark descent where
it needed to be a slower build up. Yeah. It needed to be like, oh, he's going dark. It's that, and that's one of the things like Breaking Bad did really well, where it's like Walter White didn't just go from the first episode to the second episode. He didn't just go, okay, now I'm Heisenberg. Do you know what I mean?
No,
like
that show is like how to do character development.
Yeah, that's
it's almost unfair to compare any other show to it.
That's what I would have. That sort of pacing of you know, the slippery slope to the dark side is kind of what I see out of the prequels. But at the same time, while I don't like the fact that he turns in a matter of 10 minutes, I can understand what made him turn that quickly.
Yeah.
I don't know if I like it being that quick, because that, like, look, you could defend it with, well, he'd already betrayed Mace Windu. And I can understand him doing that real quick, like cutting off Mace Windu's hand like that, like, because Palpatine was such a friend to him that was just, I think that was just impulse. I don't even think he thought about that.
Yeah.
You know, and so at that point, maybe his thinking was, well, okay, I'm in too deep now. I've just got to kind of go with it, you know. And from that point of view, I can kind of buy it, but you know, it is still kind of a bit rushed.
It is. Another thing I have, this is something I actually have a problem with, like, with all the prequels, and it's because CGI was just a new thing and they were just using it all the time. But it means that the green screen, he was so obsessed with green screen and it has not aged that well. And I'm thinking about it specifically with, you know, the battle on Mustafar. Because they're going around in this thing, it looks like a video game, and I'm just not into it. And
I actually watched Revenge of the Sith quite recently, and on that, when they're floating and they're fighting, when they're floating on the two things on the lava, and they're just waiting to hit each other, you can see a bit of the green outline.
Oh, sure, really?
Especially through hair, you can see it.
Oh yeah, hair's like the worst part for any green screen.
But, at the same time, you know, that opening battle on Coruscant, the space battle, I think...
Oh yeah, that's really cool.
I think that's aged pretty well.
Yeah. The space battles in Star Wars always aged well. I find.
It's the
green
flippy
screen
jumps
specifically.
and I think it was the honest trailer for Revenge of the Sith that there's like 8 limbs in total were cut off in this one movie. 8. I think 3 of them were Grievous's.
Oh yes, that's one thing. Grievous. What do you think of Grievous?
You know what? I really like General Grievous. I don't hate General Grievous at all. I didn't find him annoying. And I like him because he wielded 4 lightsabers at the same time.
It's pretty cool.
It's pretty cool. I did like that. And I do like that, you know, I like his attitude. And I do like that, you know, he's a general, but he's not a Sith, but he does use lightsabers. I just think that was kind of cool. It's more than General Grievous. I like the memes that have been coming out lately about General Kenobi.
I actually don't mind him.
Okay.
It's not really about whether or not I like him, but I remember, you know, the ad stuff for when it came out, and they were really pushing this guy hard, especially in like kids type media.
Yeah.
He'd be on the cover of K-Zone or whatever you want, like those kids magazines, and you know you'd see posters and these like little Happy Meal type toys, and I was just like, man, this character's probably going to get killed very quickly, and it's just going to be there for marketing.
That fight between Obi-Wan and Grievous, it starts out pretty well, but that scene, and I still think it's funny. You know when he's got Obi-Wan on the ground, then Obi-Wan turns around and kicks him, and then ends up hurting his shin because he's
yes,
kicked it. Like, okay, look, yes, that's funny, and I laugh at it, and I actually think it's quite funny, but it is a little bit stupid because it's like, dude, you're a Jedi.
Yeah.
And I don't understand. You're fighting a forceless robot. Why Obi-Wan couldn't... He force pushed him once. Why he couldn't just... whoosh, and force push him over the edge. I don't understand.
I think famously someone was asked George Lucas about a plot hole in one of them, and they were just like, so why does the character do this? And he says, it's in the script. I think that's like a perfect example of him just going, oh, fuck it.
It looks cool. I like that, you know, I've been trained in your Jedi arts by Count Dooku, and then Jedi slime. Undoes the cape and the lightsabers come out.
God.
It starts out really well, and then there's that horrible close-up shot. Not of Grievous, they go to Obi-Wan. Oh, I don't think so. And it pans, but it's like it's off-center, and it pans, and
it looks bad.
And you can tell, like, that wasn't like the cinematographer going, we're going to zoom in here. That was George Lucas in the editing bay going, zoom in there. And because you can tell that, like, if you look for it, you can tell the difference between a computer zoom and an actual camera zoom. It looked really bad because it was so off-center. And it was just, like, close up on Ewan McGregor's pimple, which was, like, right in the middle of his face.
It's
forehead.
so weird when you notice it.
Yeah, because in some shots it's not there.
Yeah.
Especially in Phantom Menace. In some scenes, it's not there at all. And then it is there. It's like, well, you can tell when he came back for reshoots, it wasn't there. Obi-Wan with the quippy lines. Just, you know, not to worry, we are still flying half a ship. And then another happy landing. Oh, and yes. I love that exchange between, I think in this movie more so than Attack of the Clones. You get the feeling that Anakin and Obi-Wan were friends. Yeah. You know, they were friends that, like Obi-Wan spoke of in A New Hope, you know, he was a good friend. You get a bit more of that in this movie.
Yeah, the banter, you really feel like they have a relationship.
Yeah, like, you know, not for saving your skin for the 10th time, 9th time. That business on Ketan and Moria doesn't count. I love that exchange.
Yes, that one's... I actually have a question. I can't remember if it was Attack of the Clones or this one. Which one is it where we suddenly find out that R2 has rockets on his little...
That was Attack of the Clones.
Okay, because that still annoys me a little bit.
It's in Revenge of the Sith 2 where he sprays oil on the droids.
Yeah, only I can believe...
And then lights them on fire with his thrusters. Which I love that. And by the way, I thought that was great.
That's hilarious, but it creates a problem for me because there's so many times where he could have used that in the other ones, but...
I mean, look, to me it doesn't because there's 15 or so years between the two, so something could have happened to them where they just went, okay, it's going to cost us too much to fix.
This guy's been refurbished so many times.
I don't know about that. He hasn't been refurbished as much as C-3PO because 3PO gets blown up a lot. R2 doesn't get blown up once.
R2 at the end of New Hope, and he's like, you know, horrifying, and you think that he's basically dead. If they were going to refurbish him to his original state then, why no thrusters afterwards?
Yeah.
That's what I have a continuity issue with.
Also, the droids... Okay, speaking of... I just gave an example of some humor that I like. Let's talk about some humor that I didn't like. And it's the droids. It's the battle droids. Okay. And I don't hate the battle droids like a lot of other people, but sometimes they just go too far. And it's like, you know when Anakin's like hanging on the lift You know, hands up, Jedi. It's like, oh, really? You know, like, like, that's such a bad joke. Like, he can't put his hands up. We get it. You know when Obi-Wan and Anakin are trapped in the lift? We don't want to get out. We want to get moving. R2, activate elevator 31174. And then Anakin cuts a hole in the top of the lift and then jumps out, and then everyone goes, always on the move. It's like, look, that was funny, but you just completely contradicted yourself, because before you were saying, we need to get moving, and now you're going, oh my god, he's always on the move. Oh god, stop it. Like, it's completely, like, it completely contradicts everything he said 5 minutes ago, 30 seconds ago. I do like the fight between Dooku, Anakin, and Obi-Wan in the beginning of this movie. I like that. And
Did you mean Grievous?
No, I mean Dooku at the beginning, when the Chancellor's kidnapped.
Yes, I can't. Yeah.
Sorry. You don't know your Star Wars.
I forgot. I'm sorry. I haven't looked at my mind.
You know, you'll be know that for him. He's a Sith Lord. Chancellor Palpatine. Sith Lords are a speciality. And I just want him to whip out like and here's one I prepared earlier.
Oh my god, did you see that meme?
Yes, I did. That's where I got that from. And but you know, like, I again, humour that I like in that movie.
Meme.
And Palpatine saying, do it, never gets old.
Do it.
And I think in this movie they do a better job of showing Anakin, especially at the beginning, you know, Anakin struggling to, I'm not sure if I should kill Dooku. That was good. Well, you know, unlike what I was saying before about Mace Windu, where he's, you know, it just turns like that. It was like, okay, they kind of started to build it up at the beginning there. And then they didn't touch on him on having these dark things, you know, and the weird dream sequences. I don't know. I don't know if I like those.
No. Oh, I thought of another thing I didn't like, and it's cliche. And I feel like I'm really mean to Natalie Portman when I review these, because I actually like a lot of her acting. It's just I think she's terrible in Star Wars and Thor. Possibly more terrible in Star Wars for me, but.
I think she's worse in Revenge of the Sith, whereas I think Hayden Christensen is better in Sith than he was in Clones. I think it's the opposite for Natalie Portman.
Yeah, but because it's like he sucked the acting out of her. Especially
at the end, like, you could tell she was sick of it. Anakin, you're breaking my heart. You're going down the path I can't follow. Like, that whole, and her eyebrows make this weird shape.
Yes.
When
I'm trying to do it. How?
I don't know, but it just, like, it's not good acting. It wasn't great acting, and I actually think in that moment, in that scene, Hayden Christensen did a better job than she did. Mainly because he just had to yell. Yeah.
But, like, I don't know, I mean, there's a lot wrong with how Padme in general is, like, so I shouldn't say loved, but I enjoyed how he was writing her before in, you know, Attack of the Clones and stuff. In Sith, he does exactly what he was trying not to do, I think, with her in Phantom and Clones, and with Princess Leia in the original, where he just turns her into, she has baby now, she annoying now.
Well, she had to have baby.
Well, she had to have baby. She
Luke
didn't have to be annoying about it. She didn't have to, that's true. Like, it's so frustrating listening to her.
That scene at the beginning where she tells him she's pregnant, I cannot stand that scene. Well, I like that she had the Leia buns, and it's kind of an homage.
Yeah.
It just, Annie, I'm pregnant. Like, that's wonderful. This is the happiest moment of my life.
He still sounds like a serial killer when he says that.
He looks like a serial killer.
Did Hayden Christensen just not sleep? Because I feel like that's actually a huge reason why he looks like a serial killer.
Did you hear about that version that could have been that George Lucas shut down, where John Knoll was talking about it at a convention? He said Padme actually, when she goes to Mustafar, she goes there with every intention to kill Anakin.
That would have been awesome.
And she actually shows up. There was concept art of this. She shows up with a knife, and then when they hug, she holds the knife to his neck, and then eventually she cannot bring her. So she realizes she can't. She puts the knife up to his neck, right? Can't bring herself to do it, and that's when he starts to choke her out.
See, now that would have been much better for me. That would have fixed some of my problems with that scene and the character.
That scene would have been so much better. It's like, okay, because that's emotion there. It's like, she goes to kill him. She realizes, oh no, as much as I hate what he's doing, I can't kill him. I love him. And then he goes, look, you just tried to kill me, bitch. You know what I mean? Like, that kind of thing. Like, then he chokes her out. And that's when Obi-Wan comes in, you know, let her go, Anakin. And, yeah. And I actually like the showdown between Anakin and Obi-Wan for the most part.
Emotionally, it's very rewarding. I just don't I think the effects have aged poorly. That's not really. I mean, it is a criticism on the movie, but it's not.
And they brought back dual effects, and I like that they brought back dual effects for a little bit of that fight. Unlike in Attack of the Clones, which I didn't speak about in my review of Attack of the Clones, but You know when Anakin like used Duel of the Fates just when he's riding his speeder? It's like that's the worst use of Duel of the Fates in a movie ever. Like you know they brought it back for this, and the Yoda Palpatine fight. I know you're not a fan of flippy jumpy Yoda.
Yeah.
So
the music in Star Wars is not the problem. In fact, I think I said this in the Phantom Menace review, where I think that John Williams' music in the prequel trilogy might actually be better than his music for the original.
I'm not going to disagree with you. I'm also not going to agree with you. Because I just can't pick. I love Duel of the Fates. It will get me pumped up for, like, anything. You know? I remember, like, working a job that I hated. I would listen to Duel of the Fates before work. And I was pumped up. I was ready to go for the day. And then on my lunch break, put in Duel of the Fates. I was ready to get through the rest of the day. Like, Duel of... Okay, so, Flippy Jumpy Yoda versus Palpatine. Because I know you didn't like it in Attack of the Clones.
I gotta be honest with you, I don't even remember the scene. I'm sorry. So I don't have... It can't have been that good if I don't remember.
So, I'm just going to do the rest of this by myself.
I'm
because
sorry.
She doesn't know... Have you seen Revenge of the Sith?
Of course
Do you
I've
know...
seen it. What are you saying to me? What are you implying?
Because you can't remember shit.
I'm sorry.
You don't remember Yoda and Palpatine at the end. Master Yoda, you survived.
What did he say?
Surprised? Your arrogance blinds you, Master Yoda. Now you will experience the full power of the dark side. And then he shoots him with lightning, and then
now I get it.
Yoda hits, and then he starts laughing, and then, not if anything to say about it, I have.
That's another one that I hate.
And then I love that line, but Palpatine flipping over that chair looks so ridiculous.
Yes.
That's how he sounds. I think it's funny. But I do like their fight, you know, like, if so powerful you are, why leave? And then he turns on the lightsaber and it's like, that's cocky Yoda, and I love cocky Yoda. Like, just, Yoda knows, I can kick this guy's ass. And...
this is some praise for not just Revenge of the Sith, the new name. Not just Revenge of the Sith, but like prequel trilogy in general. The way they made Ian McDiarmid, he does not look like he has aged since the 80s. Like, he looks really good.
But remember, he was 30 when he shot Return of the Jedi.
Maybe it was just really good makeup then.
It was. He was 30 when he shot Jedi, and he put on that voice, and then... Again, Star Wars has this weird thing of just when they come out to be made, bringing back actors that were in the other movies, it's all age appropriate.
Yeah, they always...
Jimmy Smits in Rogue One, age appropriate from when Revenge of the Sith. Like, they just have this weird coincidental thing.
It's purely good luck, yes.
Pure good luck. And if they do an Obi-Wan in the desert movie now, be perfect. You know when Obi-Wan and Anakin are fighting on Mustafar? Right? And there's a shot where they're both choking each other and they're both bending backwards like that, right?
Yeah.
And they're each holding their lightsabers. They're actually holding the wrong sabers. There's for a very brief shot, Obi-Wan's actually holding Anakin's. And because you can just tell, and even watching behind the scenes stuff, you can tell like George Lucas doesn't know whose lightsaber belongs to who. He really doesn't. Because you could see him in the movie going, so that's Anakin. They're like, no, that's Obi-Wan's. Oh, okay. Like it happens, and it's like, so this is Luke's. Yes, this is the one that Obi-Wan gives to, and like the prop guy is explaining to George Lucas whose lightsaber belongs to who, especially when it's like the Excalibur lightsaber.
George Lucas is like the prime example of my thing got away from me.
Yeah.
Whoops. Yeah.
And look, I've got to respect George Lucas because, you know, while, yes, the prequels were a step down, and while it wasn't what the fans wanted, it is George Lucas's story, and he should be allowed to tell that story however he wants. He should be allowed to put whatever he wants in there and not have whatever he wants in there. Like, as someone, like, you know, I like creating my own things.
Yeah. And
I would hate to do something and then have someone tell me, even though I'm running a channel now where I'm reviewing movies and I'm tearing them to shreds, you know, I do respect filmmakers because, you know, you have a vision, stick to it.
Yeah. No, I can agree.
He made the movies he wanted to make, and he keeps saying he loves them, and that's cool.
Yeah.
I don't.
A lot of people do love them, actually. Even if I'm not one of them, but those people exist and they...
I touched on this in our Revenge of the Sith review, but I wanted to get more into it because this is the last prequel sort of, you know, the prequel trilogy. It's the Star Wars community. The George Lucas ruined my childhood with the prequels. The George Lucas raped my childhood. The people who just crap on George Lucas for the prequels. And
those people are not bad. Also, the people who, you know, say the new series is bad or whatever. Like,
what annoys me, I think, more than that is the people who will put other people down for liking or not liking the prequels. Like, there are those people online, and I've run into them who, oh, you like the prequels? You're not a true Star Wars fan. Or, oh, you didn't like Empire Strikes Back as much as I did? You're not a true Star Wars fan. Like, that mentality, and it really only happens with the Star Wars community.
I would argue that it also happens with Star Trek, but I'll get into that.
More so, I think, with Star Wars, though, because, again, train of thought, lost it. But, you know, like, it's just, this thing of, you know, because people, look, I grew up with the prequels, okay? You know, they were coming out as I was growing up, and like I said in the Attack of the Clones review, that was the first Star Wars movie I actually ever saw, because I happened to be at that age and it was playing in cinemas at that time. And I remember one of my favourite movie-going experiences is seeing Revenge of the Sith, because this is the Revenge of the Sith review, seeing that in cinemas for the first time.
No, that makes sense. That's fair.
I remember being with a friend, and we'd organised it. Well, my mum had rung his mum to organise, you know, like you used to have to be able to get done, you know. And I remember just being like, Mum, we have to do it. You have to ring her now. And I remember that very, very clearly. And I remember the stress I was under, you know, hoping that it would happen because I wanted to see it with this friend. And I remember the packed cinema was at the Odeon.
Oh,
and
yes.
And the two guys behind us, you know, the opening space battle with the ships. And now seeing that on the big screen, when I was like, when you're 10 and that, you're just like, what's happening? Oh, it's a freak out, because the two guys behind us, and obviously they were massive Star Wars fans, they'd seen it already. And they were like, hold on to your pants, kiddies. Because we're sitting there like, we're a row ahead of them, and they're just like, this opening scene's gonna blow your mind. And I remember watching it like, what is this? It's freaking out. Like, you know, buzz droids. Yeah.
You know what?
R4, be careful, you have a... Oh dear. I love Obi-Wan's quips. I really do. Here's something I didn't touch on with this movie that is annoying to most people that I actually don't mind. It's a badly written line, but I like it. I like the scene. The line could have been a bit better. It's the high ground moment.
Oh yes. Because
memes have been made about it, and that makes me like it a bit more because the memes are so good. You know, you underestimate my sunflowers. They just keep like making things that rhyme with it. But first of all, when you look at that just on its own, that it's over, Anakin, I have the high ground. You underestimate my power. And then he jumps up, and then he gets his legs cut off.
Yeah,
right?
it's not a great moment, but
and I just remembered that I was going to bring this up. Because I was watching Return of the Jedi 2 nights ago, okay? Because it is my favourite Star Wars movie. Have a cry about Empire all you want. Return of the Jedi, my favourite Star Wars movie. Right? So, now, remember in Return of the Jedi where Luke is up on the platform in the Emperor's throne room? Vader throws the lightsaber up.
Yes.
But just before he does that, he says, you underestimate the power of the dark side, and if you will not fight, you will meet your destiny. And he throws the lightsaber up at Luke. Mirror image to Revenge of the Sith with, you underestimate my power, and he jumps.
Yeah.
And you can tell, I think, and like, I don't know if this was intentional, I don't think it was. But it might have been, and if it is, I think it's brilliant on George Lucas's part, because Anakin learned his lesson. Darth Vader didn't force jump up to Luke because he knew Luke would just cut him down. Because Obi-Wan had done it to him 20 years beforehand. I don't know. I noticed that watching Return of the Jedi,
right.
and and there are several points in that fight in the throne room in Return of the Jedi where Luke is up on the top step and Vader's down below. And also because of that meme where it was like, get the high ground, he hates that shit. And then Vader's like, and then it comes to Vader in the throne room, oh fuck, not this again. Like, but yeah, I actually, that's why I can tolerate that scene now, because I sort of go, well, he learned, that's a mistake that he made, and he learns from it in Return of the Jedi. I'm talking about Vader, obviously.
Yeah.
Learns from the mistake. And I like the tie-in at the end of Revenge of the Sith with the babies, You know, that shot of Obi-Wan taking baby Luke to Tatooine, to Owen and Beru, that gets me every time.
Yeah.
Every time, that's the feels.
I agree.
And it's also the "You are my brother, I loved you."
Brother, Anakin.
That speech.
I loved you.
Look, it's a little bit cheesy, but it gets me every time. And I think because I'd seen the Clone Wars animated series, it does that impacts a bit more when you've seen that. And look, the whole Leia not being able to remember her mother thing, that's a bit weird.
Yeah, we'll just chalk it up to forciness.
Padme, well, they explained in a comic Leia was actually having flashbacks, force flashbacks, a bit like Rey had in episode 7 of Padme, and that's how she was able to remember just images because it wasn't much. So I can understand that. And, you know, maybe Bale had a photo, I don't know. This was the Queen, I don't know. You know...
I've never seen a photograph in Star Wars. I mean, you see the holograms, I assume that's what you mean.
There's a hologram
but you
of
never
Padme.
see, like, a photograph in Star Wars.
There's a hologram of Padme, and she says this is how Padme recruits Bail Organa. Senator Organa, years ago, that's where Leia gets the speech from.
I actually I have a minor complaint, and it's actually more to do with just how do people age on Tatooine? Because when he takes baby Luke to Aunt Beru and Uncle Owen, those people they look about 20.
They're in their 20s.
They're in their 20s.
And they're in their 60s.
Yeah, it bothers me a
Well,
little
they
bit.
have given the canon explanation, which is that the Tatooine, the planet, is such a harsh environment to live on, and the air apparently is not great, that it does age people. It has a worse effect on humans than anything else, and it makes you look older than you actually are. So in canon, they've actually explained that. And you know what, like, that to me, that's a minor gripe to me.
I think it just bothers me because it was something I noticed immediately the first time I watched it. I was just like, that chick is like a baby. What annoys me more, and this isn't actually too big of a it's not. I don't think it's a George Lucas problem. It's a Rogue One problem more than anything. And it's an Episode 4 problem more than anything. Alright. So, I don't know if you remember, because you haven't remembered much about Revenge of the Sith. I'm sorry. Okay,
so this is going to be a little moment at the end. You know when they're on the Corvette at the end? And Bail Organa is walking with the droids. He goes, Captain Antilles, I'm placing these droids in your care. Treat them well, clean them up. And have the protocol droids mind wiped. What? Right? Now that guy who plays Captain Antilles, he's the same dude in A New Hope that Vader's choking out at the start. What have you done with those plans? That's Captain Antilles.
Yes, I know.
Right? He looks completely different. Because in Revenge of the Sith, he's got black hair and he's got scars on his face. And he's a British dude. In Rogue One and in A New Hope, he's a fat American guy. Well, not fat, but he's, chubbier.
Are you sure?
Captain Antilles is the dude who, at the end of Rogue One, goes to Leia and goes, Your Highness, the plans we received. That's the same guy. It's in the credits.
I know, but I don't remember him as chubby.
No, but he looks nothing like the dude in Revenge of the Sith.
I know what you're trying to say. I'm just saying, I just don't remember him as chubby. Don't confuse me.
He has the but anyway, it's more of a
lot can change in 20 years, though. That's all I'm
No,
saying.
but this isn't like he was British in Sith. And 15 years later, he's American and he's got a completely different hair color. To me, it doesn't make sense.
You can't really fix that though. That was just such a problem with the prequel.
No, and but also, George Lucas didn't know that Rogue One was going to happen.
I know, but it already was a thing for New Hope.
Yes.
So if he changed that,
but I think in A New Hope you didn't see his face as much. So you could sort of make in Rogue One you see him and you see him more, and it just to me it's a tiny thing and it shouldn't matter, but it bothers me.
Yeah.
I love that they brought back Jimmy Smith for Rogue One.
Yes.
So I really do. We're not going to get into Rogue One at the moment, but I like that. That's pretty much all I gotta say.
Yeah, considering we just dipped into Rogue One, like preview
for Rogue One coming up next. So thanks for watching our prequels reviews. They're now finished. We can sigh, and now we can talk about the best Star Wars movies from Rogue One onwards, even though Rogue One's going to be interesting because
we disagree on that.
We have quite different
Yeah.
opinions about Rogue One, so you're gonna have to wait and see what that's gonna
Movie
look like,
fight.
because movie fights, and yeah, that's gonna be more of a debate than anything. And yeah, so that's our prequels reviews. We're done.
Yes.
Thank you for watching. May the Force be with you always.